Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to Dave's Home Journal. Well, here we are, we're at the end of June. It's been a very dry, hot month. We're in the middle of water bans. The lawn's kind of dried up. But the garden's doing really well. We've picked some snap peas already, put them in our salads. The rest of the garden's doing real good. Won't be long now. Let me show you what I've been up to. We had a good heavy rain last night, which was good for the lawn. Here in Littleton, we have an outdoor watering ban, so when we have a dry spell like we've just had, the lawn can get kind of crunchy. Let me talk about lawns a little bit. So I have two approaches to my lawn. One is I like to keep it as natural as possible, which means I don't use weed killers or insecticides. I do one fertilizing in the spring, but it's just straight fertilizer. And the other is I don't want to work too hard. So I use a mulching mower. I particularly like white clover. White clover is nice for a lawn, I believe. I don't believe in a monoculture, as they say, where everything is just the same straight variety of grass. It's more vulnerable to problems that way. I figure if it's all green, it'll all mow down, it'll look fine. And clover has the unique ability to capture the nitrogen right out of the air, incorporate it into the roots, and essentially it fertilizes itself. Nitrogen is the first letter. If you think about fertilizers, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. Nitrogen is part of the chlorophyll molecule, which is why when plants don't have enough nitrogen, they start to turn yellow. So anyway, clover fertilizes itself, and so every time you mow, if you're mulching, you're fertilizing your lawn, which is pretty cool. I don't want to work too hard, so I use a mulching mower, and I can't see collecting the grass clippings. I mean, you have to stop every once in a while and empty them, and you have to fertilize more often because it's not going back into the lawn. And quite frankly, you have to figure out somewhere to put it. I don't know, it sounds like too much work. Mulching mower's easier. In fact, I don't even rake leaves in the fall. I mulch them in too. You don't really see it. I noticed a number of years ago that the places in the lawn that had clover are greener. They look nicer, they seem more drought tolerant, and so I've encouraged white clover. If you don't have it, you can buy it, white clover seeds, and sprinkle it around. Some people don't like that sort of thing, but hey, it's all green. So I've put my tomato fencing up, and over here you can see the cucumbers. So a number of different things you can do with tomatoes. I noticed a number of years ago that tomatoes are a vine, and so I use this, it's about a 2x3 inch wire fencing, and I just sort of twine it in and out as it goes up. A little trouble with critters this week. They get into my garden underneath my fencing and chewed up some stuff and dug around, so I got this fencing. It's a 1x2 inch grid, and I screwed it to the raised bed. They're not getting in there now. It's like a battle, you know? So here's the last of last year's leaves. I shredded it once last fall and then shredded it again this year, and it makes a great mulch to put on the garden. Over here in my compost pile, you can see that pretty much all that's left is the loam after it's all broken down. Let me show you how I kind of clean that up a bit. Put it on the screen, and it sifts out any solid stuff that's not quite small enough. What you end up with is this beautiful loam. great for the garden. I actually like to top dress my lawn with it. Sort of a natural fertilizer. You can put about ½ an inch down without hurting the grass at all. But it's not all work. We got a chance to get out and take a hike on the Smith Conservation Land. It's one of the newer pieces of property in Littleton. It's run by the Sudbury trustees. Beautiful day. Saw a lady slipper out on the trail. Very nice. Cucumbers are looking good. The tomatoes are doing good. Peas are doing well. We got some peas coming there. Won't be long now before we are eating them. Zucchini's doing well. You can see there the baby powder I put on to help keep the animals away too. It sort of works. It discourages them, doesn't completely stop it. And you do have to put it on every time it rains, but you know, it helps. So the fencing seems to be working, keeping the animals out of the garden. The fencing was phase 1 of my plan to keep the critters away. Phase 2 is looking at places where they like to hang out and maybe even live. So they like to hang out under sheds. I bought this ½ inch hardware cloth, they call it. It's really kind of a ½ inch screen, and put it all the way around the shed, you can see here. Put it on with some stainless screws and fender washers. Fender washers are bigger washers than normal, and hopefully that'll keep them all away. You can see from this picture that it goes down and then angles out underneath the rock, so it's all underneath the stones here, so they can't dig under it. Hopefully that'll work. Here's another quick update on the garden. There's the tomatoes. They're growing like weeds. Getting some sauce by the end of the summer. There's the zucchini. Getting big. It's got some flowers. Yeah. Peas were doing all right. Some animal got in there in spite of my fencing. I guess that just happens. Peppers are coming along. There's the peppers coming right along. Tomatoes, we've got some nice tomatoes going there. I bought that as a pot, so it was bigger when I started. Cucumbers looking good. Rhubarb's coming back from a pretty heavy picking in the spring for pies and such, and it's coming back. We'll get some more in a few weeks, maybe. So in the early mornings, I like to come out and just kind of look at the garden and see how things are going. It's also peaceful and quiet. You know, June's an interesting time for the garden because it's not much to do. Everything's already in, planted, fenced in, mulched. And now we just wait, and it's a good lesson in patience and just watching things grow. Really is an amazing process if you think about it. You start with some tiny little seeds, and a couple months later you've got tomatoes, you've got cucumbers, you've got all kinds of stuff. So it's nice to just come out. It's 71 right now. It's going to be 90 later on today. So it's nice to just come out in the still of the morning and just sort of see how things are going. So Sean from Nashua, yes, Toto, we're not in Littleton anymore, has sent me a couple pictures. Here's one of his removable cage that he puts his berries in, and there's a cucumber ladder. Very cool. Thanks, Sean. If you want to send me pictures or short videos of your garden or projects, send them to davemakesvideos2020@gmail.com, and maybe I'll put it on next month. So that's June. Been busy, starting to think about what kind of projects I want to do for the summer. We're already partway through the summer. This COVID-19 thing is still here, so I'm spending a little more time around here than usual. Tune in next month and see what I've been up to. Stay safe, stay cool. This is Dave, signing out. Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to Dave's Home Journal. Well, here we are at the end of June. It's been a very dry month. Waiting for the truck noises. Want to show me your project or a short video or picture of your garden? Well, this is no good. Here we are at the end of June. Still more truck noises.